Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you are in the world. I am so excited. Today is the very first time that we are doing something new for 2026. And that is where I interview women live on my Facebook page. This is something we've never done before. We've done it podcast style many times on our podcast, but this is the first time we're actually doing it live on my personal page. So we have a very special guest today. I got to meet her for the first time at our event in the $1 Million Room this past November. She's one of our clients and she is an amazing woman. And I can't wait for her to share her story because it's really an incredible one. So tune in and get to know her a little bit because she's really a special person. So Robin, welcome. How are you?
Hi, Anissa. It's good to see you again. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yeah.
Awesome. So she's going to share a little bit about her journey. And I just want to point out that her background is one of her quilts. So she also owns a brick and mortar quilting business and she made this gorgeous quilt. And I think it's so pretty as a Zoom background. All right, Robin, tell us a little bit about who you are, what your story is, a little bit about your journey and all the things.
So I am one of six children. I grew up in the cold north on a farm where we didn't get to play much. We just had to work. And I couldn't wait to get off the farm. So I went to singing on the road. And then I decided that wasn't for me when I was married. And then I got my degree in chemistry, had a job for 21 and a half years, actually more like 25 years in the chemistry field, and finally said to myself, if I can save this company millions of dollars, why aren't I doing my own business? We have a quilt shop that we play with. But in the meantime, I went through several ups and downs. I was very naive because where I grew up and where we lived, we didn't have a lot of exposure to life in general. It was pretty much contained and it was a very small community. And I didn't know about dating the wrong guy. It took me several tries before I finally found the right guy. One of the things a lot of my friends don't know is what I went through as a woman living with a man who wasn't the best person to be living with. After I went to California, I found my inner voice and said, it's time for me to stop hiding. One of the things have also stopped hiding about is how to take care of yourself because we are wonderful human beings and we need to be there for our family. We put God first and ourselves second. Most women, we put ourselves last.
That is so true. Oh my goodness. I resonate a lot with your story and just a lot with you in general. We've had our conversations over the past year or so. And, I certainly kissed a lot of frogs before I met my prince. I also, was in corporate and realized I helped this company scale from 7 to 8 figures. I'm pretty sure I could do it for myself. And now in the process of doing exactly that. So I love that you stepped out into that and you're here today to share your story because there's a lot of women who aren't. And I love that you've taken everything that you've gone through and turned it into something where you can help other women as well. Let's talk a little bit about survival not being the goal. So you say survival is not the goal, sustainability is. Can you just explain what that shift looks like in real life for a woman who is just exhausted and burnt out?
I was surviving and I didn't realize that's all I've been doing all these years. And I'm in my 60s. And after I went to California, my motto became I don't want to survive anymore. I want to thrive. And I want it to be sustainable because a lot of us will do fad things like the keto diet. Some people treat that as a fad, some people stay on it. When you do something like that, you have to ask yourself, is it sustainable? For me, taking care of myself personally is sustainable. The products I'm using, I know that they are giving me a better quality of life. I may not live longer, but I am determined to live better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you experienced a lot of health changes, including improvements related to diabetes. And so many women are suffering with this in our country and just all over the world. But what does it teach us about the body's ability to respond when it finally gets the support that it needs?
One of the things our body does is it acts to outside forces. One of those outside forces could be triggering inflammation all over your body, like it was for me. The condition I have makes it so I can't use my hands to quilt, which is really no bueno. It makes my ankles swell, it makes me tired, made my hair fall out, gave me more wrinkles, and a whole bunch of other issues. So, by finding the path to managing what I eat as far as, fried foods at a minimum, beef once in a while, things like that. I also added key ingredients that my body was striving for that I wasn't getting in my regular diet because yes, you can eat cinnamon, but how much do you need to eat? And is it going to work the way you want it to? So when I found products that actually helped my body recover, it was like, oh, wow, the solution. My body rewarded me by me losing weight. I wasn't dieting. I was already doing what I was already doing. I wasn't going and hitting the gym and walking miles and miles. I started eating sensibly, like I was already doing, added a couple of supplements, and bam, inflammation reduced. My hair started growing back, and my wrinkles are less. I don't have the big bags under my eyes like a lot of us do. Yes, I found a solution, and I'm happy to tell others about it.
Yes, that's so exciting. And you talked a little bit about outside factors, kind of affecting the way the insides work. So can you touch on that a little bit about, because I really feel like so many people don't understand how stress and trauma and abuse can really affect your physical health, not just your mental and emotional health.
Yes, and I'm going to go a little geeky here because I am a retired chemist. So, one of the stressors in our lives is the environment itself. We have xenoestrogens, we have it in the air and the water in our food. It comes from years of the USA being one of the number one manufacturers. It comes from spraying the fields and doing things like that. In fact, in New York, they decided we couldn't spread cow manure anymore on the snow because when it runs off, it pollutes the water. That's really a no-brainer, but now that they've passed a law against it. But when you have all these external stressors, your body reacts, and you can't control how your body's reacting because you can't get away from it. So, what you need to look at is if I eat this, what does my body do? If I drink this, what did my body do? Should I continue with that? And with common sense and a little practical tips, you can work your way to this is what my body needs. This is what makes me feel good. This is how I want to live the rest of my life.
Yes, absolutely. I agree so much. And it's true. It's like we don't even realize one of our other people in our community, Linda, talks about this all the time in her world, like all the different environmental things that really affect, how our bodies operate. And not just that, but, emotional stuff that we go through and all that kind of stuff. Your journey started while you were still in corporate. You touched on that a little bit, and you were in physical pain. So can you just take us back
Yeah.
to the moment that, share what made you realize something deeper was going on with your body?
Arthritis runs in the family, but so does diabetes. My mother, my brothers, they all have it. My father had it. So when I was expecting and was gestational diabetic, they told me I had a 95% chance of me being it. And depending on what I did would determine how fast I would get the diagnosis. We'll go back about 5 years, and I was walking like a duck because I had plantar fasciitis. I worked in a building that it took quite a distance just to get to the door, and then you had to go up all these stairs, and my knees hurt and they ground, and I had been up for 2 nights with my hands hurting. They were swollen and my joints were off to the side, and the lady sitting next to me says, try this, and I'm like, oh, that stuff doesn't work. I don't believe in it. Anyway, she kept goading me, and finally I tried it, and within 30 minutes I couldn't believe my hand, and the swelling went down, and I could actually use my mouse to do my job. And I could concentrate because when you're in pain, you're not concentrating. And I went and found out they had an oral version, so I wouldn't smell like menthol. So I started that. And I started on their vitamins because they were supposed to be really good. And of course, they had this guarantee that you could get a refund after 30 days if you weren't happy and all this stuff for the vitamins. So I'm like, okay, we'll try it. Then they came out with a new product, and that's when I really found my shining light. And that was a collagen blend. And within a few hours of taking it, more like 24 hours, I got up the next morning. My hands weren't swollen, my ankles weren't swollen, my movement was a little better. And over time, it has gotten so well that I have been reclassified as a pre diabetic. I'm no longer a type 2 by the doctor.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that is amazing. And do you want to share anything about some of the things that you're taking and, how people can get them if they're experiencing chronic inflammation or diabetes or, any of the things that you were experiencing?
When you partner with someone like me, we are your guide. We talk to you, find out what your issues are, determine whether we can help you or not, and give you an outline of what you should follow. If you are interested in trying the products, we are more than happy to help you with that and help guide you through what would work best for you. It's simple as you start with this product and add another one. A lot of people have seen me online drinking this stuff called Glow Fuel, and they're like, "What's the green stuff, Robin?" That has the collagen in it. It has prebiotics, probiotics for our gut. It has cinnamon, biotin, MetaPower blend. It has also the vitamins, minerals, and greens known as VMG. And yes, it's green, but it tastes like pineapple, so it doesn't bother me. I love it. In fact, a couple of my clients called me up and they're like, "Robin, thank you. I feel so much better." And they don't mind the green either.
I love it. I love the glow fuel so much. And you are glowing and it obviously works. And I think, for anybody who might be experiencing some of these things that Robin's talking about and she has gone through, and you're like, I'm willing to give anything a try. Just really, what do you have to lose, right? Talk to me a little bit about this phrase that you've coined, which is the queenager phase. You talk about it as a new chapter, which is similar to adolescence. So, what is that all about? What mindset shifts are most important for women entering this season of life?
The first question I usually get asked is, "What is a queenager?" And it's anybody over 40, really. We've gone through the teenage years. We've gone through, most of us, unless you're like me and have a child later in life, you've gone through the childbearing years, and now you're faced with what your body's doing and how you feel about yourself. You're going to find you have a few wrinkles and your hair starts to turn gray and stuff. You can be like me and say, "I want to be a queenager." In fact, I'm a renegade queenager because I don't do what the doctor says. I do what works for me and makes me feel good. Prescriptions, we'll look at those later if what I'm doing stops. But right now, what I'm doing is working. I found my girlfriend says, "I don't call myself a senior citizen, I call myself a queenager." And I'm like, "Oh, I love that term." So my girlfriend gave me that name. So then I started doing some research and found out, yes, it was created by some bored woman, but she did it because she couldn't come up with a better term for our age group. And yes, I'm over the senior citizen age, but I refuse to be one. So I'm a renegade queenager until I'm like in my 80s and I can no longer, I may still call myself one then. We'll see.
I love it. I love it. Queenagers forever.
Yeah.
So a lot of women blame their fatigue or their weight changes or brain fog or joint pain just on aging, right? Oh, it's just I'm getting older. How do you help
Mhm.
them reframe that narrative without creating any kind of guilt or pressure?
So I recently did a little clip on it, and it's inflammation based, really. When you start feeling like you can't move as well and your joints are aching, you're thinking it's age related, but it could be your diet and inflammation. And I'm sure Linda shared that depending on what you eat, you have a gut brain barrier and your brain is telling your body what to do. But it could also be what you're eating that's triggering it. So, one of the things we look at is inflammation your problem? And it's all on your outlook on life. If you start feeling better, you are going to want to do more things and you're not going to be so sad or thinking it's just age and this is how life is supposed to be. If you met me 4 years ago you would see a totally different person than I am now. So we change every day, every hour, every minute. So why not make it the best minutes? Because we can't get them back.
Absolutely. Amen to that. So, you mentioned you started having clearer thinking and better sleep and reduced cravings just as part of your own transformation. Out of those shifts, what do you think women tend to notice first, and why do you think that's so encouraging to them to continue on?
So I was already taking one of the vitamins, and when they came out with this new version, it was like within 10 days, my brain was firing like it used to when I was in my 40s. And I'm like, I'm back. But the other thing is the collagen blend in my glow fuel helps with the inflammation in your joints. It helps you rebuild the fluid in your joints so they don't hurt as much. And you will notice within a few days that, hey, I can do this. I couldn't do this before. And things still pop up that I didn't realize had changed. If I ate like green peppers or my husband forced me to eat a hot dog, I paid for it. I would keep burping it for days. I don't have that problem now because it was something that was off in my system. And now it has decided, hey, I like you again.
Wow. Sounds magical. Actually, my next question is really about just the chronic inflammation because it comes up a lot. And I just want to know why is it such a key driver behind so many midlife symptoms and why is it overlooked? And I just have been I'm 41 and I just have recently, like over the past few months, started getting this pain here and I'm realizing that it's arthritis. And I'm
Yes.
wondering, like, why do we overlook it? Are we in denial? What is it?
So it's sort of like when you go to the doctor and they do a blood test and say, oh, you have diabetes. And they try to give you a prescription when they didn't look at the whole picture. So unfortunately, a lot of modern health issues are caused by inflammation. If you look it up, it's like one of the leading factors for autoimmune disorders. A lot of them have that in common. And arthritis is an autoimmune disorder. Depending on which version you have, depends on which method you use. As far as I know, mine is psoriatic arthritis, which causes all sorts of issues like fatty liver and plantar fasciitis and all these other things. If you control the inflammation, you control the pain because it's not there to trigger it as much. And there are ways you can do that. You can use topical things. There's some over the counter, or you can get a better version or a version you like better. Or you can talk to your doctor about things you can do through their methods.
Yeah, absolutely. I might have to DM you about that.
I'd be
So,
happy to help.
yes, absolutely. I have. And I noticed is like when I hold my phone a certain way, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I probably hold my
Yeah,
phone like this all the time. And then over the years, it
yeah,
just, compounds, right?
yeah.
So a lot of women are going through this, and a lot of women, they feel like they've done everything right. And then all of a sudden, their bodies are just working against them. So, what do you see happening most often for women in midlife that just gets either misunderstood or dismissed?
I have people in their 40s that I go to church with that are coming up to me saying, I saw your green drink. What's in it? How can it help me? Because they're tired, they're inflamed. I mean, most of the time you can just see it by looking in the mirror. Your face looks different, right? Because when you start eating properly and stuff, your face will show the difference as well as the rest of your body. And as we know, when we lose weight, we see it in the face first, right? So when we gain weight, I'm not sure. I think with me, it's around my middle first. But anyway,
Same.
But anyway, I have things for that too. But if you have issues with your stomach, you're not digesting your food, you're not going to feel well. You're going to be inflamed because that's your body telling you it's not happy, it's needs support. And that's what foundational wellness is all about, is supporting your body so that it makes better use of your energy so that you're not so tired. So
Yeah.
that's one of the problems that women in their 40s face is they're tired now. They think it's age, but it's really possibly inflammation.
And a lot of us, we're starting to go through. perimenopause and then menopause, and
Mhm.
it's very overwhelming. Ask me how I know. So, what foundational steps can we take right now, today, so that we can start feeling more supported instead of just totally depleted?
So the first thing you can try, if you think it might be inflammation, is I have a freebie I can send you called the No GPS diet. It's a 3-day snapshot into, is it my diet or am I eating things that is causing the inflammation? That is a good sign that you might want to look at your regular meal plan. And what it did for me is made me realize, yes, I have a problem. But the other thing I said was, I don't really want to eat like this the rest of my life. If my grandchild is having a birthday and they want me to have a piece of cake, Mimi's going to have a piece of cake. I learned that if I do certain supplements or use the cinnamon or something like that, that I can have that piece of cake and I won't be as inflamed and I can enjoy my time with my grandchild.
I love that. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to do that all the time, right? It's like once in a while you can treat yourself, you can enjoy these moments in life and still live a really happy, healthy life and feel good in your body no matter what age you are, right?
Right. It's a
So
commitment to yourself. So
it
you
is.
have to make the commitment that you are worthy, you are worth every penny, and your life deserves it. Your grandbabies deserve it. Your husband or significant other deserve it. They need the best version of you because let's face it, when we have inflammation, we're cranky and we can bite their head off when we don't mean to. Trust
That's a
me,
fact.
I'm very good at it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, we get to that age and then we're like, okay, I think it's time to start really taking care of myself. So, women that want to start focusing on foundational wellness, and it's a new shift for them in their life, how quickly do you think they typically begin to? Now, I know, this varies person to person, but like, how quickly ordinarily do you typically begin to notice changes in like energy and clarity and just overall quality of life?
The lady that I was telling you about earlier, I just did a video with her, and within 2 weeks, she called me up and told me that she felt so much better. And
Wow.
she had conditions worse than I have. And it was just basically what I talked about in the Glow Fuel was it had the vitamins and minerals, the collagen blend, the pre and probiotics, and then we looked at a couple other things because she's also a diabetic and looking at how can she manage her blood sugar better. And when it's as simple as a drink a day and a little soft gel that you take every after you eat, how much easier can it get? There's no shots, there's nothing, wild about it.
Wow. That
So
is incredible. That is incredible. I love it. I need some glow fuel in my life. So
so one of the
for
things she asked about was how fast would they see it? She saw it within 2 weeks. But right now there's a 90-day program, and the first what we're going to do is if you look out your garden and it's full of weeds, you're not going to throw seeds on it. You're going to go out, pull the weeds, till it in, get it ready. Then you're going to plant the seeds and then you're going to fertilize it to help them grow and water it. And that's what our 90-day system does is once you join it and you go through the process, by the time you're done with 90 days, you should see a remarkable difference.
wow. That's amazing. And I think that's like with anything, right? Anything new that you're starting, you want to give it at least 90 days to like really notice a significant transformation. I'm a firm believer in the 21-90 rule, which is like 21 days to change a habit, 90 to make it a lifestyle. And then once you get past that 90 days, it's oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so it sounds like this 90-day program can really help. So for women who are listening who feel called to help other women after their own transformation the way you have, are there opportunities that exist to turn personal healing into purpose for them as well?
Yes, that's how I got started. Is I found a solution and I'm like, why didn't I know about this sooner? And that's when I started telling others about it and helping women like this lady that I told you about. We had just met, but we got talking about our health issues. And I said, why don't we try this to see if it helps you? And within 2 weeks, she's calling me up saying thank you. And her family even went out and bought her this little mixer for Christmas because it made such a difference in her life. And that's what I want for all women because we are powerful. We can regain our freedom. We can regain our health, wealth, and spirituality. And
Yes, we
you, Anissa,
can.
and Miss Natasha showed me that when I went to California.
Aww. Oh my gosh, that was the best time ever. So amazing. Robin, we're going to wrap up here. Share with us what you have going on besides the 90-day program. How can women get in touch with you? How can women get glow fuel and start to change their lives for the better today?
So you can message me at Robin Kaluahini. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as Robin Kaluahini. I am also on YouTube at Call Me Robin dash hello. Everybody's like, why call me Robin? Because the name of my shop is Elaine's Attic, so everybody calls me Elaine. And I'm like, my friends call me Robin. So yes, that's where that comes from. Nothing
I love it.
magical. So
I love
please
it
reach
so
out. I'd
much.
love to hear from you.
Yes. And if you, we just want to say thank you so much for anybody who is joining us today. Saw we had some people tuning in. Thank you for watching. And also, if anybody has any questions for Robin, reach out to her. And Robin, thank you so much for taking the time to share all of this with us today. It's an important conversation to be had. And if you could leave our audience with one last message, what would it be?
It's not too late to start. I have people in their 80s and they are climbing overseas. When I met them, they could barely walk. So it's not too late, ladies. And I will welcome you with open arms in the Queenager group. You just have to
That
ask.
is incredible. We will put the link to your Queenager group in the comments, and anybody who catches this on the replay can get into that as well. Thank you again, and we'll be on here doing these live interviews every week. So if you're interested in going live on my page and sharing your story with the audience, reach out to me in the DMs and we will get you that information. All right, everybody, have a great Monday, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.